to be on today for you. It's a good job by Steve, too. Give Torrey credit. He works harder than I do, and he works Sunday, and he was here doing a show for you as well. As we chat to you about what's going on this busy afternoon, Mike in Sacramento, California gets a chance. Mike, your turn. How are you today, pal? Okay?
Hey, Chris, I'm really good, man. Just two quick things I want to talk about the Rams. But first of all, listen to Grant Napier sometimes, and he says great things about you. And then I used to listen to you a lot. My wife just bought me this subscription for Christmas, so I'm very grateful.
Well, how about that, Mike? Yeah, you're first. I don't know the name. I usually know the names. We have some Sacramento calls, Paul and Peter, but you're the first time I've seen you call us, so good job. Good to have you aboard here.
Oh, no, I will be listening. I just want to talk a little bit about the L.A. Rams, and this is for the L.A. Rams. The last time they were good, it was Jim Everett, Flipper Anderson, Jackie Slater days, so it's good to see them back, and I'm hoping. Do you think they have a shot to make a deep run? I think.
Yeah, of course they do. Yes, they do, Mike.
I'm a little nervous though because I think the first game scares me more than if they win that game. I feel more confident going to Minnesota or Philly. They're a good road team. They won 7 out of 8 road games this year, and they won a game in London that technically is a home game, but. Right. I'm not really intimidated by that. I think they have the MVP in the league this year in Gurley, and I think Aaron Donald's the best defensive player in football. Losing Zerline, I do think is going to hurt a lot.
Yeah, that's a good point. A couple things. Let's do a couple things, Mike. Number one, would you rather be seated with the Eagles instead of Minnesota?
With the Eagles all day long.
Kicker. They had a lot of trouble with their kicker last week. He missed a 3-pointer and an easy field goal, and he also hit the upright with he missed an extra point, and then he missed a field goal by hitting the upright. No Zerline the way they play, they need him, and because they have a lot of opportunities to score, and they're going to occasionally get bottled up, and they need to be locked down with these field goals. He's a big weapon. That's a big loss for them. You know that? Very big loss for them.
Yeah. Absolutely couldn't agree more. I do like their special teams return game and a lot of things about them. I worry more about Atlanta, Seattle, New Orleans, or Carolina than I actually do. I really think Philadelphia is really vulnerable with Foles and even Keenum to a point, but I still think Minnesota, that defense is really good. I mean, obviously shutting out the Packers without Rodgers, but that defense is really good. Chris, I'm going to call you again sometime.
All right, Mike, I want to hear from you. No question about it. I want to hear from you. Again, they will – the one thing about being the 3 seed is they will play Atlanta, and I would rather play Atlanta than play Carolina. To be fair, if you're the 3 seed, you get a bad matchup in the divisional round. But you get Atlanta or Seattle, especially Atlanta, and I think that's a plus. If you're the 4 seed, you might get the Panthers, and with their defense and him, that would scare me a little bit. So I would rather be, if I could, the 3 seed based on the first round. Down the road, other way. Now, the other issue, of course, simply is the idea that you are discussing from a standpoint of where you are. You are talking about a young quarterback, and that will make you a little nervous with a young quarterback. Because he's a young player, and you don't know how, you're going to be a little nervous about him in a big game. Here's Jai in Baltimore, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Jai, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? What's going on?
Good afternoon, Chris. Hope you had a good Christmas.
I did, Jai. Nice to talk to you. What's happening now for me? What do you have for me?
Well, I want to talk about the Cowboys right quick, but before I do, I just wanted to say that I got one of your books that you wrote back in the early 2000s for Christmas, the Mad Dog 100 Greatest.
Boy, oh boy, you are a big fan. You are a big fan. My goodness, this is a great kid. He's 16, 17 years of age. He lives in Baltimore, and he calls all the time, Jai. Yes, I wrote 2 books. That one that you have with the blue cover was a New York Times bestseller, which I was very proud of. The top 100 arguments of all time, and then I did another book 3 years later. But the first book, the second book, I think is better. But the first book, I think, from a standpoint of what it meant, was a fun book. Go ahead, continue.
I just want to say that Dez Bryant is the most. He kind of annoys me, and he started to get on my bad side the way Odell Beckham Jr. does, because I'm watching the game Saturday night, or whatever night it was, Sunday night, And I'm sitting up there, he's moaning and groaning on the sidelines, how he hasn't gotten the ball, hasn't gotten this and gotten that. Then I got Dak Prescott, who hits him right in the hands. He runs. Byron Maxwell punches it out. He fumbles. And he keeps moaning and groaning. I mean, the ball was hitting him in his hands over and over and over again, and he's dropping the ball. I am so sick of Dez Bryant. And one other thing, Skip Bayless, his opinion, he's a smart individual, but if I gotta watch at 9:30 in the morning about how Skip Bayless, who thinks that Sean Lee is the second coming of Dick Butkus, because if he's not in the lineup for some ungodly reason, the Cowboys are automatically going to lose the game. So I'm down on the Cowboys. But I got a question. What do you think about Earl Thomas, and Adam Shine, who's a great listen earlier in the midday section of the day?
Right.
I didn't even know this, that Earl Thomas actually tracked down Jason Garrett after.
Yeah, he wants to be. He wants
saying, "Come get me."
I read that. Good call. I guess Thomas wants to be a Cowboy next year. I mean, I guess that could happen. I don't know what I guess is he a free agent? So from that perspective, I could see that. That would not shock me from that perspective if that occurred. We continue here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Don't.
If it's